The next time you're interviewing AVL integrators, ask them a simple question. How much of my project is built and tested before it ever arrives at my job site?
Yeah, the answer to that question is going to tell you an awful lot about how the rest of your project is most likely to go.
Welcome to the Paragon Angle. Today I'm here with Ryan Cowan, president of Paragon 360. And Ryan, I just wanted to have a conversation today about something that clients never really get to see up front, but can make a big difference in your AVL renovation or upgrade project, and that is advanced shop preparation.
Yeah, honestly, Donnie, it's one of the things that separates experienced integrators from people who are just buying and reselling gear.
Exactly. And when a church hires an AVL firm, they're really focused on the end product, right? Better lighting, advanced video, better sounding rooms, maybe a complete transformation. But one of the questions they forget to ask is, what happens before my equipment or your crew even show up to the job site?
Yeah, think about it this way. When the team shows up, do you want them focused on unboxing equipment and building racks and labeling wires and working out firmware and software issues? Or do you want them focused on installing that equipment that's ready to go and being prepared for commissioning?
Well, that's an easy answer, right? It's got to be done ahead of time because on-site time is expensive. I mean, every additional hour is labor cost and disruption to the church and more room for delays on the project.
Right, and that is why experienced integrators invest so heavily in their shop prep. They're doing things like building DSP files and loading them ahead of time, and they're testing the speaker systems before they arrive to make sure everything's in phase. They're making sure all the video equipment's got the same format installed, so everything's ready to go when you show up and you're not spending your time working those issues out.
And that's critically important because if we've got a bad component or programming issues or configuration issues or dead on arrival equipment, we want to know that in the shop, not when we get to your job site. Now we're delaying the progress of that.
Absolutely. Troubleshooting in the shop is much more cost-effective way to handle those sort of things because when you show up on the job site, that's when things get fast and expensive.
Right, and we've seen the guys that show up with just a ton of cardboard boxes and they spend a whole lot of time trying to just figure out where all this goes and that type of thing, but that's not installation. That's assembly and troubleshooting on the client's clock.
The goal here should be very simple. Do as much work as you can ahead of time so when you show up, you're prepared for success.
Right. I mean, when the installation team shows up, we need to be focused on, mounting equipment, connecting systems, commissioning the technology, and training the client, not building systems from scratch.
Right. And this will result in faster installation times, systems that operate more efficiently, fewer surprises when you show up on site, and ultimately a lot less disruption for the church.
Absolutely. And there's also training opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. So we brought a client into our Springfield, Missouri headquarters. We brought them in here to, during the prep to touch the gear and see the racks and look at the labeling and play with the cameras and that, really getting an idea of what this system was going to be able to do for them before we ever got to install.
That's right. In a large-scale renovation like this, when you're changing out a lot of AVL systems, there can be a lot of anxiety in the users over all this new equipment showing up and am I going to be successful? This allowed us to bring them in, and they had to spend 2 full days with our design team with their equipment before their building even had a roof.
And a dedicated prep space is just a better environment for this.
Yeah, you should definitely ask yourself, does my integrator even have a dedicated prep space? Mm-hmm. But to your point, yes, it's a much better environment to do these sorts of things in because it's clean and controlled. Also, it's a lot safer for the equipment because you're not on a job site where things can just walk away.
Right. I think our message is simple. It's the next time you're interviewing AVL integrators, ask them a simple question. How much of my project is built and tested before it ever arrives at my job site?
Yeah, the answer to that question is going to tell you an awful lot about how the rest of your project is most likely to go. If they're not spending time up front preparing for your installation, they're probably going to cut corners somewhere else and do a lot of troubleshooting on your site.
And I think this advanced prep is just a win for everyone involved, even the AVL firm.
Yes, exactly. So, as you said earlier, in AVL integration, time is money.
Absolutely. All right, that's a wrap for this episode, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks for joining us.